What I couldn't unlearn. As told by Private Johannes Bauer, born in Munich, Germany. My name is Johannes Bauer. I was born in Munich in 1921. My mother taught piano. I tell people that first because I want them to understand what kind of house I came from. A house where music mattered. Where my mother would stop whatever she was doing if she heard someone play something wrong, not in anger, in a kind of physical discomfort, like a wrong note actually hurt her somewhere. She had very precise ears. She taught me that some things, once you've heard them wrong, cannot be unheard. She was talking about music. She was right about everything else too. Before. I was 19 when I enlisted. Not because I wanted war. Because everyone was enlisting, and not enlisting required a kind of courage I hadn't yet developed. The courage to stand still while everything moves. The courage to say no in a room full of yes. I didn't have that courage at 19. I have thought about that many times since. My father walked me to the induction office. At the door he stopped. Put his hand on my shoulder. "Remember who you are," he said. I nodded. I thought I knew what he meant. I didn't know yet what it would cost to do it. The unit. I was assigned to a unit that had been on the Eastern Front for 8 months before I arrived. 8 months changes men. I understood this within the first week. There were 2 kinds of men in that unit. The ones who had changed, and the ones who were fighting not to. I found the second group by instinct. Richter, Vogel, Lenz. We found each other without discussing it. Some things are communicated without words. Then there was Fischer. Fischer had been there for all 8 months. He looked at the people in the villages the way you look at furniture. Useful or not useful. In the way or not in the way. That was all. But I need to tell you something about Fischer before I tell you everything else. Because it matters. Fischer before the door. There was a man in our unit who had known Fischer in the early months. Before the 8 months had finished with him. His name was Wendt. Old enough to have children Fischer's age. One evening Wendt told me, he used to write letters. Every Sunday. Without fail. He'd find a surface, a crate, a wall, his own knee, and he'd write. An hour sometimes. I said nothing. History teacher, Wendt said. Secondary school. He used to tell his students that history was just people making decisions. That's all. People at a moment, making a decision. He was quiet for a moment. I watched him stop writing the letters, Wendt said. Not all at once. Gradually. He'd sit down on Sunday and open the paper and then just sit. Staring at it. Nothing coming. What happened? I said. Too much distance, Wendt said. Between who he was and what he was doing. The letters had to cross that distance and eventually they couldn't make it. I thought about that, a man who taught his students that history was just people making decisions. And then couldn't find a way to write to his family about the decisions he was making. So he stopped writing. And then he stopped feeling the distance. And then the distance disappeared. And he was on the other side of it. What I saw Fischer do. We were moving through a town in October 1943. Real streets. A church. A market square with no market in it. An old man was walking with a stick, not from weakness, from an old injury, something in the hip. He moved deliberately, with a dignity that had nothing to prove and nothing to lose. Fisher didn't like that. He stepped in front of him, said something. The old man looked at him, not with defiance or hatred. Something quieter than both. The expression of someone who had lived long enough to recognize exactly what he was looking at. Who saw Fisher and saw not a soldier, not an enemy. A lost thing. Something that had been human and had misplaced it. Fisher hit him. I will not detail it further. What I will tell you is this: I stood 10 feet away. And I did nothing. And Richter beside me grabbed my arm not to stop me from intervening, because I wasn't going to intervene, God help me, I wasn't going to, but to stop himself. His grip on my arm was very tight. I could feel each finger individually. We both stood there, doing nothing, holding each other still. The house on the hill, the cupboard. 2 weeks later. A smaller village. Richter and I were paired together. We came to a farmhouse on a small hill at the edge of the village. Stone walls. A wooden door repaired many times with many different types of wood, each repair visible, each one a record of a different year, a different problem solved. Richter kicked the door. It opened onto a single room. A fire in the hearth. A table with 3 cups on it, each with something still in it. Recently used. Recently abandoned. We looked at each other. A large cupboard against the back wall. Old. The kind that has been in one place so long it seems to have grown there. Richter walked to it. He put his hand flat against the door. He stood very still. And then boots on the path outside. Heavy. Deliberate. Getting closer. Richter's hand went rigid against the cupboard door. I turned to the window. Fisher. Walking past the house on his way toward the square. 10 meters away. Then 8. Then 6. He wasn't looking at the house. Then he slowed. I don't know why. Some instinct. Some movement in his peripheral vision. Some sound from inside that I hadn't heard. He stopped. He turned his head toward the door. I took 2 steps to the table and picked up one of the cups. Turned toward the door. Leaned against the table with the cup in my hand as if I'd been standing there for minutes. Fisher looked through the open door. His eyes moved across the room. Across Richter at the back wall. Across me with the cup. Across the cupboard. 3 seconds. 4. The fire cracked in the hearth. Fisher looked at me. I looked back at him. I kept my face empty. Or I tried to. I don't know what he saw. I know my heart was going so hard I could feel it in my ears, in my hands, in the back of my teeth. I know the cup was shaking slightly and I was pressing my fingers against it to stop the shaking, and I don't know if the shaking stopped or if I just stopped feeling it. Fisher looked at the cupboard one more time. Then he turned and walked away. I listened to his boots on the path until I couldn't hear them anymore. Then a little longer. Then I looked at Richter. Richter's forehead was against the cupboard door. His eyes were closed. His lips were moving. I don't know what he was saying. A prayer maybe. Or his daughter's name? Probably both. After a moment he straightened. He looked at me. He looked at the cupboard. And he said quietly, to the wood, to whatever was breathing on the other side of it. Clear. We walked out. What Richter told me that night. We sat in the ruins of a building. The cold was very bad. After a long silence Richter said, there were 3 of them. I said nothing. A woman. 2 children. The younger one maybe 4. He pressed his hands together between his knees. I have a daughter, he said. She's 4. Her name is Marta. She breathes fast through her nose when she's frightened. She thinks if she's quiet enough the scary thing won't find her. The fire cracked. Do you think they made it? I said. He was quiet for a long time. I think about Marta, he said. Every time. I think if it were Marta in that cupboard. He stopped. And then I can only say one word, he said. He didn't say it again. He didn't need to. My Kirilma the moment. 3 months after the cupboard. A village. Another square. Another gathering. The order came. And I watched the men around me move in response to it. Fisher. The boy who used to have a photograph of a girl pinned inside his coat. Others whose names I knew and whose faces I had eaten beside and whose voices I recognized in the dark. Moving. And then the order came to me. And I looked at my hands. And something happened that I cannot fully describe. My hand moved toward my rifle. And then it stopped. Just stopped. Not because I was brave. Not because I was better than Fisher or the boy with the photograph. Because I heard something. Not from the square. From somewhere inside me. A wrong note. That's the only way I can describe it. My mother's voice saying listen. Listen to what it sounds like when it's wrong. My hand stopped. And I stood there. Frozen between the order and the thing inside me that heard the wrong note. Richter appeared at my shoulder. Walk away, he said. Very quiet. Walk away right now. I walked away. Nobody stopped me. I don't know why nobody stopped me. Maybe they were too busy. Maybe I wasn't worth the effort. Maybe something in the universe decided that this one time, this one man, was going to be allowed to walk away. I walked to the edge of the village. I sat behind a wall. And I shook. For a long time. Just sat there and shook. Not from cold. Richter, what happened? Richter didn't make it home. February 1944. I won't describe how. What I will tell you is that the night before, we sat together and he talked about Marta. About how she had just learned to read. About how she read everything, labels on jars, signs on buildings, anything with letters. About how she showed him her reading the way children show you things, with her whole body, leaning forward, urgent with the importance of it. He was smiling when he told me this. A real smile. The kind that comes from somewhere genuine and doesn't know it's doing anything. The next day he was gone. And I was alone. Truly alone in a way I hadn't been since I arrived. Because Richter had been the thing between me and Fisher. The proof that you could be in this place and still say clear and mean it. Without him I had to be that proof myself. I wasn't sure I could. Fisher the last time. The last time I saw Fisher was March 1944. He was sitting alone. He had something in his hand. I came closer before I understood what it was. A small toy. Wooden. A horse, roughly carved, the kind a child might have. He had found it somewhere in a house. He was turning it over in his hands. And his face. I have thought about this for 20 years. His face was doing something I had not seen on it in months. Something that looked like pain. Real pain. The pain of someone who has gone very far from themselves and has found, unexpectedly, without wanting to, a small wooden horse that has opened a door they thought they had sealed permanently. He felt me looking. He looked up. His face closed. He put the horse in his pocket. He stood up and walked away. I stood there looking at the ground where he had been sitting. The toy was gone. But I had seen his face in that one moment. And I have never known what to do with what I saw. Because it meant he was still in there. Behind everything he had done. Behind every door he had walked through. Something that could still be opened by a small wooden horse. Something that still remembered what horses meant to children. Something still human. And somehow, that was the most frightening thing I witnessed in the entire war. Not the emptiness. The glimpse behind it. Munich, 1958. I teach music theory now. My mother's piano is in the corner of my apartment. I don't play it well. I never played it well. But I sit at it sometimes in the evening and I play slowly, badly, and I think about what she told me. Some things, once you've heard them wrong, cannot be unheard. Last month a student played a wrong note. She corrected herself and looked up at me waiting to see how bad it was going to be. I thought of my mother. I thought of Richter saying clear to a cupboard. I thought of Fisher turning a small wooden horse over in his hands. I thought of my own hands stopping halfway to a rifle because something inside me heard the wrong note. I looked at my student. Again, I said. Slowly. She played it correctly. I nodded. And I thought, that's all any of us can do. Hear it. And try again. Even when everything around us is playing it wrong. Even when we've already played it wrong ourselves. Hear it. And try again. Johannes Bauer. Born in Munich, 1921. Soldier. Witness. Music teacher. He never pulled the trigger. But he still hears it. Every day. He still hears it.